It is Wednesday night, December 8th, 2021 for our Parks Board meeting. Couple things real quick.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat now.
Colleagues. Couple things here real quick, and I know it has affected us drastically, but it was 2 years ago today that the first case of the coronavirus was identified. 2 years. Boy, how times have flown. Basically, what we got tonight, we do have a couple of exciting, I say that, of course, tongue-in-cheek, we have a change order for a pickleball court, and we do have a budget transfer, and Eric is going to briefly, so we can get a public record of how we may have to approach certain things, getting stuff complete for in our department for 2021 as it pertains to the budget. But real quick, hopefully, and tonight is LCLN big basketball game. Go Cats. Make sure that gets put on the record, please. Even though I am a Lawrence Central grad, put that on the record too. Hopefully, thank you, Dee, get the minutes out. If you've had a chance to read, go through them. If there are no additions, subtractions, modification, I would entertain a motion.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Yahtzee. Couple things, board comments here. Eric, and Eric does a great job. Our biggest pain in the arse right now is the continued public use of that damn trash bin out at Lee Road. Are we able?
It was picked up.
It was. If you got, I mean, wow.
Who's putting the stuff in there?
99% of it is public.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, Tom.
I wondered where in the world all that's coming from.
And Eric does a good job. I'll come by and bug him. He just gives me, I've known Eric 30 plus years. He just gives me that. But thank you for getting that. A couple of things from last month, Eric. How are we coming along with the AV system, curtains, Starrett Center, all that happy stuff?
We've got our portion of the process done. That was the removal of the old lights, the disconnection and removal of the old lights and the screen. So we're waiting on Ryan Norris with Archford Lawrence to come in and install. They've set the outlet for the projector, so we're waiting on Archford Lawrence to come back in and do that, or their vendor, whoever, I'm not sure. And on that note, their vendor came back and repaired the lights, exterior lights that they cut.
Where Eric was going with, they came back and fixed. Did we get the light pole thing? Is that what you're alluding to?
They've got electricity to the lights now.
Okay.
So one works, one doesn't, because we have to change fixture in it, but they did repair that.
Okay.
That temporary service that they provided for us, so.
Okay. Also from last month, Ms. Norman stated the Bark Park needs some signage for who do they need to contact to become who do they need to contact to become a member to be to sign up. Is that what you were alluding to, Amy?
No, they said if they could have, and I don't know, I haven't seen the sign, but they said that they've been there a lot, and there's people who let friends in, just some more like new signage, stating the rules, and also like if it had a link for the parks where people could go on to, I guess.
You should have a QR code or something on there so so it brings up the application. So,
okay.
Yeah, the signage that we have there is very outdated, so and it was very wordy. So we'll go out there and look to put new signage up and abbreviate the message that we have out there.
And I will continue to bug you on this point. I like to bug you. Have we decided what direction we're going to go with fencing out at the soccer complex as we go into the winter months, going into the springtime?
That's going to be a winter project.
Okay.
For staff, days that we're not putting playground in, we'll be working on that fencing.
I'll get to this one at the last. Eric did share with, and we have made a really strong effort to diversify our catering choices. We sent out another RFP. We got one response, correct?
We had 5 picked up that we know of. We had one in the office, so we had 6 people that picked up, or 6 groups that picked up the proposal, but only one that
And the deadline to submit
was last Friday.
Okay, and we have one, we're gonna go out now. We have 3 right now. One of them, we have got to make sure that they all have a signed contract. If I know one of them didn't, and if they don't have a signed contract, they cannot be offered as a choice on our, for a rental. So we have got to make sure all 3 have an up-to-date agreement contract if we take on this 4th one likewise. So come January, I'm going to make a point that if we go with a 4th, we have to make sure all 4 have a signed agreement to be there, period.
The 3 original ones are due in April.
But did they all 3 sign an agreement?
The only one that did not sign one, that I didn't get a return copy, was Fitzgerald's.
That one, we have to
have
walk
their
down and
insurance.
get it. We need to go down, walk down and get it. Please. Fun stuff. Joe Murphy did a nice job at the government on the City of Lawrence website of the update out at Lee Road Trail. Pickleball, that can be, of course, it'll be multi-use. Butterfly, pollinator, habitat work. Corey Korn's been working diligently with a third party to coordinate and operate adult sports out there that hopefully she's up in Wisconsin with her mother. We'll have a chance to bring to the board and have a third party group that would oversee adult sports activities out at Lee Road as we repurpose that park for multi-use, so that will be fun. Lizzie, we're going to have a butterfly garden christening. My goal, and it's funny, my mom and I were talking, you talk about the weather, notice the older you get, you talk about the damn weather. But our winters seem to start later and later. And, you know, and they stay around until the middle of April. I have a goal of by the middle of April, I'd like to have a formal butterfly garden ribbon cutting. We'll choose a primary park to do it. And Eric, has all the work required for this, has it been done, completed?
We have all the signage except the entry signage for each parcel. So we've got 4 signs that are still being, they're still in process right now of being built.
And just simply for educational purposes, May 1st, what can we see Shoesteen? Quoting the great Zsa Zsa Gabor from Green Acres, what can we see Shoesteen by May 1st?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, this year will be not real exciting.
Right.
Here, the plant, they treat, then they leave. But by next year,
We could see some.
more, then you'll be like, holy macaroni.
Well, Eric, just out of curiosity, will we need to coordinate those areas off?
Pedestrian traffic would be the only thing, and I don't know that it would be.
I mean, that's what I mean. The one that's out at Veterans Park kind of concerns me. That's to be the only one that concerns me, that I'd like to see some informal sign that says, hey, pollinator garden under currently to stay off, no spray, yada, yada, yada.
Well, it would, and our signage will do that.
Okay.
I think we ordered a set of 4 from the Monarch joint venture, and there's 5 signs in each, so there's 20 signs.
Okay, just checking, because a lot of,
Each area will have signage talking about the life cycle of the monarch butterfly and other pollinators. And
okay.
it's
Just
kind of informative.
a lot of time, effort, energy, and a lot of parties concerned there. Just want to make sure we accomplish what want to. Real quick, said Corey Corn is with her mother up in Wisconsin. And real quick, updates. And first updates, Art for Lawrence. The big issue they're dealing with is still their visual arts center. What they're going to do with the flooding in the basement, it's really involved, and Judy has just done a great job with that. But here's an update. Most recently, Lawrence Christmas had 2,000 in attendance, all-time high. 400 people enjoyed skating. Kids skate for free, and this was over Thanksgiving weekend. The rink continues to see a slight increase in numbers and days we are open. We had over 1,400 back in October for Day of the Dead celebration. It was unique, and they did a really nice job. And the big thing was the community approach to it. It wasn't City of Lawrence government driven. Basically, government provided the space, the gathering point, for the community to come together, and then the community made it happen. So that, especially a partnership with MSDLT, Lawrence School Foundation, and Arts for Lawrence. Once more, we hosted the half marathon at Fort Bend, had over 2,300 registrations, over 4,000 attendees. That keeps getting bigger, and of course, these are just our fall updates. We had over 1,200 attendees in September for Loggers of Lawrence. The only issue it's weird, the only issue we're facing, Eric, would you say, for our Winterfest activities is it ain't very wintry. Doesn't look like Friday. Friday could be iffy, and then Saturday, holy heck, the wind, and that affects our stage, correct?
Correct, yeah. If it's sustained winds at 30 miles an hour or greater, we can't put the stage up.
And
So
it's not very wintry. And tonight we have a rental out there. I talked to Joe Murphy. He was on site out there for a rental. But it's very cool. And my other hat I wear with the Fort Harrison Reuse Authority, Aletha and I talk. I know the mayor wants to keep it when that becomes a real civic plaza and we close roads. There might be a time where we outgrow the space, especially with conversations I had today with Aletha and the Reuse Authority about potential development that will be happening. We have 5 parcels. There's a chance, I guess an FHRA update, that we could be out of the real estate business by the end of 2022 out here with development and the like. We're hoping to officially close with Marion County Library on December the 15th. And that's a project that goes back to August of 1995 when they originally came out here. So we have several irons in the fire. That's exciting out here. Hopefully we screw up in reverse and we just run out of room. That's our goal. And then last thing I have to ask Eric, because Miss Helen asked about it. Eric, real quick, walk us through. We do have a budget for our department for 2022, but beyond what we get as a budget in 2022, kind of walk us through that.
and to be
From layman's term and nothing, like I said, yeah.
that
We're not lawyers. We don't play them on TV.
well, and we don't know really what the budget will look like until we receive it. We're in hopes that those accounts, those other accounts that were limited, that they, our personnel services will be the same. Our 200s, which are the supplies and materials, that will be the same. The 300s, which are services, contractual services that we might have. That's where we'll probably come into the shortfall on those budgets that were classified as equipment other or services other. We do a lot of our things like our pest control and
Trash.
our
Dumpster,
trash removal,
yeah.
or fire alarm suppression, and that sort of thing, that we'll have to go back in and add.
Okay.
They won't be able to keep us from having those items, but so the administration will go in, I believe, in January. We've been directed to have things ready to go for the council meetings.
Okay.
So we'll have all that prepared in January to send to the council.
But in essence, the budget that we're operating with, and you hear me say it all the time, this department basically we don't line as many field, but we're going back to the old days where we, in essence, cut grass. I mean, we're not looking to be able to, we need parking lots repaired. We would like to expand, Lee Road. We'd like to step our game up and down the road of repurposing.
Yeah, without additional appropriations, we can't do that. Now, I assume that we'll be able to solicit for appropriations, if we say, well, we've got to have X done in 2022, then
We'll go hat in hand to the
go
council.
present to the council and hopefully it'll be funded.
Just to address what we have on record, to the best of your knowledge, as far as salaries and the like for our department.
My understanding, the council is still proposing a bonus from the ARP funds, from the American Rescue Plan funds. The administration and our council aren't sure whether we can, our legal counsel is not sure whether we can provide that, especially like Dina and I.
Right.
We weren't essential employees.
Right.
Those that were essential can get a stipend or a preferred, but the rest of us, we're not sure whether we can
So right now,
legally get one or not.
the question of getting any type of extra money is up in the air.
Yes.
Okay. Now, of course, just to have it out there, if you guys read the statute for parks boards,
So they passed a salary ordinance that had 0 in it?
They stayed at the 2021 levels.
if you guys ever read the statute on the powers of the parks board, we have the power to give salary increases. Us.
Got the money.
Yeah,
As long as it's been appropriated, yes.
yeah. So just for giggles, I always throw that out just for fun. So that's where we're at with the budget here right now, guys. And as you know, one of our new business items tonight is a significant, and Tom, you've been on the board, and Helen for a long time. That is a significant budget transfer that we're going to look at, but I'll be blunt, we're going to spend every dime that we got because we got things that need to be taken care of, and we're going to try to get that done.
I've got a question.
All right, Colin.
The Lee Road Trail, how much of the underbrush are we going to take out? Or
Well, I would imagine we'll take a majority of it out once we start. On the pathway, we've got to get it cleaned up and then back to a certain point. Then after that, I think we'll go in and probably annually.
was there a reason to take all that stuff out, or
Well, we just couldn't get the, a lot of it, they couldn't get the equipment in.
Okay.
And around pretty easy to get your Bobcat in around it, but you couldn't get a single tandem axle dump truck back there. So a lot of that, and a lot of it was dead material anyways, so.
Yeah. Was there any reason for not leaving it in there? I mean, it's.
On
the road, it makes sense for safety.
Yeah, and that's the only thing. It would be just for a safety factor. And I think once the trees get up big enough, then
It looks a little more.
it'll shade out some of the underbrush also.
I'd like to be able to see back into it.
Right.
Correct.
But, taking all that stuff out and just having trees.
How much more work is there to be done out there?
Well, they've got to backfill against all the asphalt where it's high, so there's still quite a bit.
Okay.
And they've had some shavings dumped out there today, which I assume they're going to put in those areas down
Okay.
front to kind of keep that
Okay.
that material down, the weeds down. And weeds doesn't bother us. It's the suckers coming off the trees. And
Hi, young Joe.
there's water that runs across the sidewalk along Lee Road.
Right.
Is there a leak or something there?
That has been doing that for years now, and there's yeah, there's water on that
It's
side.
been there,
Yeah.
Even, yeah, it could be dry as a bone for days.
you know.
I don't know if it's a leak or a weep in that hill, but
Yeah, it's kind of wet, but but it's not
yeah,
consistent. I didn't know if that'd cause a problem or if something we caused or.
no, it's been like that for a while, so I'll get with the utilities, find out, make sure it's not a leak somewhere.
Freshwater spring or something.
Yeah.
Eric, speaking of that area, when do we cut back that growth for the pheasant forever?
Well, I'd like to burn it next spring or sometime
Okay.
early, but when you
Eric, we'll get it.
you
Look
see
at,
Liz and I out there with a propane torch, don't,
sure you didn't hear that. You know and hear nothing. Any other questions for Eric? Eric, you got anything you need to share with us?
just real quickly, the city and there's a lot of partners involved, but we're having a health clinic on Saturday from 11 to 2 at the Starrett Center. They've got a wide variety of vendors that are going to be there, but anybody that goes and the kids get a discount ticket to the skating rink, so.
And they're doing all types of health screening, cholesterol, diabetes, vision. I think they're offering COVID vaccine shots, just a whole collection, a whole array. Yeah, so hopefully get some folks there.
And just a shout out to the staff, our staff, and Dina especially that helped with our float entry. It was
It was unique.
it was unique.
They had a quick change on the fly of the theme, which I will not go into, but it was a quick change on the fly. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, if you get a chance to look at Rudolph on the website, but the guys all pitched in and got the rink out, and fortunately we did it earlier in the season where we had a little better weather, and
that's really been a team effort across departments, street department, parks department, Mr. Joe back there, coordination, a lot of moving pieces, and I can call Joe out because I usually do anyway. He's used to that by now. Known Joe 10 years at least, and but when it comes time for you to have kids, he was just ate up and nervous going into the parade, and it went off without a hitch, had a little rain. So just a big shout out to all the parties involved to make that happen. And like I said, I hope we outgrow that space, Joe. So let you really have something to worry about then. But it's really exciting. And of course, those of us have been here forever. We'd never thought we'd have a skating rink, cultural campus, any of that. So just a high five to everyone involved. So thank you. All right, we do have some new business. I think we did tackle our old business there. We have some new business. First off, take a look. We have our meeting dates. And, a couple things to peruse. And Dee and Eric, I'll put you on the spot here. We've double checked. We're not infringing on any, obviously, national, state holidays or any religious observance. Like we get to March, I was going to say March.
Holidays are Monday or Friday,
Okay.
2022.
March 9th, I'm going to say Wednesday.
on Wednesday.
I asked.
There you go.
Asked.
It's not.
I didn't know if March 9th was or not. I don't like you. Okay, so those are our meeting dates, still 5:30. Do a double check your calendars. We can come back, and if it appears that we need to move a date, we can always do that. But I would entertain a motion that these are dates for the 2022 Parks Board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, all right.
Oh, and for the record, the Ash Wednesday's March 2nd. I just double checked.
Okay, thank you.
We're good.
All right, I was going to say, it's not election day. Election day is November 7th. All right, we're golden. Yay, rah. Okay, next, this is the big one here. This is a change order, which I'll have Eric and/or Joe Murphy out there walk us through it. This change order of the Brandt Construction Pickleball Agreement. Finally got the council to vote to approve to pay the initial voucher, which was actually due back in November. But at council meeting this past Monday, they got around to approving to paying the voucher, yay rah. Eric, first, give us a real quick, explain what a change order is, what this is, and what we need to do. Go.
So this change order, hopefully it's the only one we'll get, but it's for $27,974, which represents about 10%, a little less than 10% of the original contract, which change orders can go all the way up to 20% on a regular basis. But anyway, it's for a 400 amp service. Originally, we looked at a 100 amp service just for the lighting of the pickleball courts, the 8 courts that we're putting out there now. But talking to Joe and others, we just determined that a 400 amp service will allow us to expand. And then we don't have to go back in and cut the sidewalk and
It's a one-time fix.
so one time, yeah, so there'll be 400 amps of service out there in comparison to 100 amps. The largest portion of this is power and lights requirement. It's a little over $17,000 to set a new transformer.
Oh, okay.
So that's where a majority of the expense is coming from.
Where will that new transformer go? Where?
Well, it will go in close proximity to the 400 amp service, which will sit out on the southeast corner of the existing.
Got it.
So it'll be centered in the complex there.
Okay. Mr. Joe, will you come up here real quick and explain where those funds are coming from and basically what from Tyler's email I got, please?
Sorry, I'm carrying. Good evening, everybody. I just got back from our ice rink. We had a rental. The Boys and Girls Club, our local chapter, was out there with about 30, 40 youngsters out on the ice doing some skating. So that was positive. Good to see. Adding on to what Eric said, the change order was found to be necessary by an independent electrician that was hired by Brandt to do some investigation into existing power capacity out there. They determined that it was insufficient to be able to power the new lighting that we're putting out there for pickleball, so hence the change order. As Eric mentioned, they kind of gave us two alternatives, one for a additional 100 amp circuit to tie into our existing power out there that would be able to supply enough power for the lights, but it would basically tap us out for any future development out there in terms of lighting. So the second option, which is the option that Eric and I are recommending to you tonight, I think it's also co-signed by Mayor Collier and Tyler Douthit, our city controller, is an option to put a brand new 400 amp circuit out there, which would give us plenty of power in the future if we were to expand pickleball or include additional lighting out there for any other kind of athletics or recreation activities. So we see that as the best interest considering the use of the park going forward and how we want to expand a lot of our facilities out there. I did confer with our controller today, and he confirmed with me, but what he had already shared with me, is that the money exists in the 2021 budget, and that it'll be coming out of the capital improvements fund. So this will be this will not impact the parks budget for 21 or 22. He did want to caution me that if this does not get approved this year and it does roll over into next year, there won't be funds because of the budget cuts that we've experienced. There won't be funds out of capital improvements to cover this, and it would have to come out of our parks budget. So it would negatively impact our 22 budget if we can't act on it and get it encumbered this year. But that being said, he's perfectly comfortable absorbing it in the capital improvement fund, encumbering it this year so that we can get that change order done and we can get that project kind of tied up here. And if you haven't been out there lately, there has been some movement out there. They've now all the asphalt's out there. It's curing right now. I think they're probably getting near the end of the stage where it's done curing. They can start putting the topical surface material on top. But in the meantime, they have laid all the fence posts and concrete out there, so it's starting to take shape and it's looking really nice. Any questions?
Questions, guys?
Is the other lighting and electrical services, is it on a separate?
Yes, it will. So this will have its own independent box that'll service this and any additional power needs going forward.
So anything we do can tie into that?
Correct, yeah.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Either-
Yes.
Like I said, the goal is a one-time fix.
Right, we were gonna run out of the concession stand.
Yeah.
Again, if we do any other projects out there, then we've got a transformer, and we've got in essence, 300 amps that we can use. And the transformer that sits there now by the concession stand is utilized by the tower also. They must
really?
pull a lot because
Wow.
have to set another transformer that close in
You
proximity.
think about the tower there, wow.
Must be quite a bit of draw on that service, so.
And we're really just trying to be very forward thinking with this and making sure that the additional things that we've contemplated in the future for that park are accounted for in that lighting need. So,
One fix.
yes, right.
Got it.
Very good.
Any other questions? I would entertain a motion on change order with Brandt Construction.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you kindly.
Feel that jacket's giant on you. We have to fatten you up. Emily's going to have to, huh?
I still haven't quite filled out that thing.
No, you're not. You're still very, all right. Okay, what the hell am I reading? All right, the next thing up is resolution number 4, 2021 budget transfer. And real quick, emergency exists at this time. It's been determined that it's now necessary to transfer funds as provided herein to meet the need for expenditures presently existing. The following accounts in the general fund shall be decreased and increased in amounts as designated. If you take a look, we have section 1. The following appropriations are decreased, and these are salary, wages, employee benefits, perf, employee benefits other, total a decrease of $105,000 to be transferred into our general fund for other services and charges, repair, maintenance, supply other. And Eric, you did supply here. I have you go through the vendors and what it will be for. Go.
So as you can see, the majority of it goes into other supplies and charges. So that's a accounting bracket that we can take a lot of different variety of things out of. So our idea is to put all the funds in that so we can pay for the HVAC at the Starrett Center, the curbing at Alexander Park around the playground. So we purchased the new playground last month. So now we'll be able to put the surfacing around the protective border around it. And then, as you can see at Greendale Farms, we'll buy the mulch to put in the playground safe material. And then lastly, the demo and reinstallation of flooring and kitchen at community center. We all know that's been long overdue. So those funds will go into a account where we can hire a private or a outside contractor to do those.
And that's basically the first phase of improvement on that facility. Have you guys been there? Besides the flooring, besides the kitchen, we've got a ceiling, drop ceiling that needs to be addressed. Painting needs to be done. Originally, that was the goal to get completed. That got nixed. So Eric and I met and kind of go, okay, what can we do with funds that we have? And Dee, thank you very much for helping us put together, being able to do this. and we don't have to go before council approval. I've got a shout out to Caitlin, City Legal. She walked us through with legal opinion and what we can and can't do, so we give her a high five. But like I said, this is the first phase. Community center, we have spent money at Sturt Center and Chin Park, and those are for exclusive catering. But this is very important. Now I'm going to go ahead and say this. We have a segment of our community that may not or cannot pay for exclusive catering. That community center allows for folks to bring their own food and beverage and the like, and it meets a need for that part of our community. And like I said, this is the first phase, and I'll be in Eric's ear about painting and the ceiling and all of that. I know that's a goal for him. Getting that parking lot fixed also is a draw, because we are looking at, we lost money with the COVID period, and there is a chance we could recoup some money from ARP, money's lost, but still, this is what we want to do. We usually do return money to the general fund, but we've got too many needs that other elements outside of our control don't seem to think that we need to address. Eric, what does this leave us with as we...
I've looked at it, and Dina's looked at it, the controllers looked at it. So we have ample funds available in overtime and in
Get us through the end of, okay.
in the year. We've only got 2 more pay periods
Right.
within the year.
And I don't want to jinx this. I know as far as having to do overtime, weather related, it's supposed to be balmy, darn near bikini wearing for the next 2 weeks. So don't put away the sunscreen yet. So any questions concerning transfer here?
Are those numbers pretty hard numbers, or?
The on the project list,
Yeah.
pretty close, Tom. Yeah, the HVAC is, the quote I've got is now over a year old. So I talked to him today, and we added 20% on to his quote just in preparation.
Just to be,
There might be some funds that
You
don't.
think got enough money in there to?
Yeah.
Done?
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, I'd entertain a motion concerning resolution number 4, budget transfer.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's get building. Let's go have some fun. Any other comments, questions, concern, public? Being none, the Hoosiers tip off in 50 minutes. You know they have not won in Wisconsin this century. They've lost the last 18 times up there.
Did he just jinx us, Joe?
Okay. Shout out to my Butler Bulldogs and Lawrence North DJ Hugh, who played like a maniac last night, beat Oklahoma.
Yeah, they did.
Since I got the microphone, go Dogs. With that, we're adjourned.